So once again, I'm here at Regal Robot Studios with Tom Spina. What a small world.
Thank you, Mark. It's amazing how we keep running into each other here. I like that we always wear the same clothes. Yeah, no, that's, I think, important.
Very odd.
It's, you know, as long as people realize that we're definitely not filming all of these at once, months in advance.
We wouldn't do that.
No, we would never do
that.
No
way. Anyway.
Yes.
There's some very cool stuff on this table.
Thank you.
That I would love you to explain to us what everything is.
I feel like that should be the title of every video we do, because there's some cool stuff on this table. Sure, so right here are the two editions of our Gaffi Stick prop replicas. They're our first foray into prop replicas officially anyway. And these are something that, like a lot of stuff, you know, was near and dear to my heart. Many years back, I had made a replica Gaffi Stick and actually had a Fijian company carve a wooden totokia for me.
Wow.
Which we then modified to accurize it a little bit, you know, to make it a little more Star Wars. And then pulled molds off of, and it was actually that mold that was used for the Mandalorian show when they brought the Tusken Raiders back for the first time.
Okay.
So when you first see the Tusken Raiders and they're doing sign language with Mando out in the desert, one of them is carrying this exact style of stick, and the reason it looks just like this is because it came from our molds. We made it for the show.
I've just had a thought, you saying that the two Tusken Raiders, when they're doing the whole sign, Troy Kotsur was one of the guys.
Correct.
Who went on to win an Oscar, didn't he? So.
Oh shit! So that's basically an Oscar-winning prop.
So that's basically an Oscar-winning prop, yeah.
So what's neat there is, so we had done the totokia end of it. The production did the metal end of it, which is resin on this one. And you know, they had a really neat way of finishing this stuff. They had their you know, it's a little lighter wood grain than the original. It kind of shows the grain a little better. It's all faux grain. That's the way you do this sort of thing for a show. And then on this end, there's a lot of sort of spatter and this sort of almost what I call negative spatter, where you have a patina color with little bits of the original showing through and little silver edging and stuff like that. It's interesting because it's a different approach than the vintage ones. The shapes are a little different, the types of welding's a little different, but I mean, it would make sense that not every Gaffi stick made by these vicious Tusken Raiders would be exactly the same. But let's pull this guy out of the way, and let's take a look at the A New Hope Gaffi, which I think people are going to find very interesting. Nice dance.
Thank you.
So, what we have here is our hero, A New Hope style Gaffi Stick.
Yes.
This is a signature edition, 150 pieces, signed by Mr. Roger Christian.
Wow.
Now, your fans,
the
savvy, very smart, well-educated, and good-looking fans that they are, already know who Roger Christian is.
Of course.
But for any fans out there who maybe are just discovering Phantom Tracks and don't know, Roger's the man who designed most of the props for the first Star Wars, including the Gaffi Stick.
Which is incredible to think one guy came up with such a diverse amount of things.
Isn't it? And you know, just to look at the different types of blasters and the different types of, even just the set dressing and stuff that he worked on. It's incredible what he pulled together, and especially on a budget.
Absolutely,
So with this piece, we actually went to the Lucasfilm archives and scanned the original prop. What's interesting is the prop is slightly different than it was when it was the hero in A New Hope.
Right.
Because at some point after that, this point had chipped off. and was reshaped, so it's a little shorter than it used to be.
Right.
But what we discovered was the Rancor Keeper Gaffi Stick was cast out of the same mold as the Hero Stick, and they had a couple of those. So we scanned the A New Hope stick all the way up to here.
Yeah.
And then we replaced the tip of it with the tip from the Rancor Keeper Gaffi, which again is out of the right mold, to bring it back to A New Hope style.
Wow.
And then the metal end is done to the style that Peter Diamond was using on set.
Yeah.
It's got the longer end, it's got the ring here, the 3 welds very specifically, the squared off point, all of that stuff. And this is all real metal. This is all resin painted to look like wood.
Yeah.
Very dark finish, much like the real one, and resin again like the real one. Still, if you lift up and you want to put your hands on it, this is still
it's
pretty.
hefty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got some heft. And the cool thing is they each come with the same stand. So these are all made in the USA, just like these.
Yeah.
And these will come with these 2 uprights separate. I believe this section will all be assembled. So basically all you have to do is slot these in, bink, bink, and then that goes
There
right
it
in.
is, yeah.
And it works better if you say bink, bink when you do it. Just
As
in
you
case
do
anybody's
it.
wondering.
Okay.
Yeah, that's important.
Please remember that.
And then there's the plaque with Roger Christian's shiny autograph on there. Each of those plaques will be hand numbered when they go out. And basically what we do is as folks place their orders, in the order those orders come in, that's the number you get. So the earlier you order, the earlier the number you get.
Brilliant.
And so for those of you who are watching this prior to these going up for sale, you're going to want to go to regalrobot.com/Star Wars and probably sign up for our email newsletter, because that'll tell you when this is up for sale and when you can buy yours.
That's fantastic. The detail on this is just next level.
Thank you.
And as you say, when you see these things as a kid and then actually see it for real,
it feels like a real thing.
Yeah.
When you get into it's a bizarre thing to go to the archives and to see the real props. And there's a photo of me holding the original like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I lift this thing up and hold it like that, it feels the same to me. I get that same feeling that I had when I was at the archives. And that's what I want people to bring home. I want them to feel like they're sneaking into George Lucas's backyard and taking something. I want these things, when you open them up, to make you question, like, oh, did they accidentally send me the real one?
Did you take anything from set? No, I've got a Tom Spina Gaffi Stick.
That's right. That'll be fine. That's right.
Wonderful. You've just mentioned where people can find out the information. You can always go to Fanta Tracks because we cover everything.
Everything we do. Thank you.
So wonderful. Thank you as always.
Absolutely.
And
always good to see you.
Next time we meet, same shirt, same place.
Absolutely.